All right. Check one, two. Looks like we are live and having a little bit of a connection issue tonight. Hopefully, it will get better within the next few minutes. Okay, we will all hope that it's going to get better. Hey, Salon Savvy 64, how are you doing? Welcome. It's good to see you here. Got 7 current viewers. Hey, there's Pamela Perry. There's Tanya. Hi, everyone. I know we're getting started earlier. I'm glad. I am super glad that you are all here, um, so we can have some conversation tonight. Talk about what's going on with the Royal We and with you all. It's good to see all you all. Thank you, Salon Savvy 64. Thank you for the hugs. Doris Bove, hello. How are you? Pamela, how are you? C Divine, Jennifer, how are you? Hello, everybody. How is everybody? I don't do enough talking in the chat, so I'm going to try. Hello, everybody. Uh, just to do it. Everybody, don't please don't laugh at my spelling. I'm your friendly neighborhood mod. Yes, you are, Tanya. Disappearing remedy. Hello, Jennifer. Enjoyed your last video. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I did the last video was on the topic of being a light in the darkness, and I'll tell you what, there's so much to talk about as far as being a light in the darkness and what I've discovered about it. And there's so much more that I wish I would have said. You know, it's one of those things where when you make this content and you're trying to dig deep and come up with these things that you're wrestling with, and a lot of these things that I make videos about are things that I wrestle with myself. Um, but man, it could just you could go in so many different directions with it. And but what's laid out is laid out. I typically try to do it in one take, but I do it multiple times because I don't like to get in there and start splicing and editing and looking like who remembers Max Headroom, right? All choppy. I know a lot of YouTubers do that. They just chop up their conversations and it's all jerky, and I you could do that, but I feel it's more authentic and genuine if I just run it through, which typically means I do quite a few different takes of it, and I try my best just to pick the right one. You remember Max Headroom? I think it was Max Headroom. But yeah, the topic of being a light, you know, it's real interesting because I think in so many ways, you know, for me, I was coming from a background of faith. I was heavily involved in church when I was dealing with narcissistically abusive in-laws, and I kept hearing from them every time I would say it's not right, what's happening to me is not right, the treatment's not right. Every single response I would get was stay with them, keep going back, let your light shine, keep loving them. You might be the only love they see. All the nonsense stuff that I believe that modern Western non-denominational Christian churches have just kind of been taught to tell people without really knowing the severity of the abuse that's taking place. Or they somehow think that Christianity in general makes you some kind of a superhero to where abuse doesn't affect you. And there's a video idea. How about that? How many of you would like to see me talk about the modern idea that we are somehow superhumans above abuse, verbal abuse, right? That it shouldn't affect us. You know, I think that would be a great video to make. Yeah. So tonight's video, that's going to be yes, Fifi. It was horrible advice. It was horrible advice. Um, I remember. I'm going to share with you something. I was so hurt by the I was so hurt by the narcissistic abuse, um, by the toxicity of my in-laws at the time, being yelled at and cussed at. it affected me in my core like it does everybody. And I think that everyone has a different way they received it, maybe from a spouse or a significant other. Mine happened to be so-called family, right? I think it, um, acceptance of a family or whatever. Um, and I was hurting really bad, and I was involved with a big church in California. I'm not going to say names because I was involved with them. I was part of it. I was part of the ministry teams, but they had this one ministry, and it was they called it, I can't remember the name they called it. They called it, it was a deep cleaning ministry, they called it. Sozo healing or something like that. And it was kind of just, I think it was more, um, what am I looking for? It was more hyped than what it was supposed to be. This real time of real, it was talked about. It was like secrecy, and you go with this person who is really amazing, a prayer warrior, and they get deep into your life and they clean out all that garbage through prayer. And I did this. I signed up for it. You go through all this stuff, fasting and this and that, and I did all that. And I got to it, and I started to, they say things like close your eyes and talk about, do you see the people in your life who have hurt you? And I remember I talked about these particular people and my in-laws who were hurting me at that moment, verbally, um, and mentally, and just physically. I started talking about them. And I remember in the deep healing, what they did is, instead of acknowledge that hurt and that I need to get away from it, what they did in the deep healing was they tried to, I guess, get me to subliminally believe that I wasn't upset with them. I remember closing my eyes and they would say, Kevin, repeat after me. You love them. You're not upset with them. You forgive them. You're not mad with them. And I started to repeat that. But it's interesting that even after I left, I was still hurt and broken. And I'm not going to say it was the most invalidating experience I've ever had. I think it was with good intentions that they tried to bring healing to you by basically trying to get you to talk yourself out of any anger and frustration. But at the same time, as I look back, man, very unequipped in helping people to deal with their pain. And yeah, that was rough. And this is an area where I think that Christianity struggles, especially Western non-denominational Christianity. And Doris Bove says, I agree the church doesn't understand pain, abuse, and trauma in reality. It doesn't. And I think one of the issues is because, oh, Fifi LaFleur, I've got something for you. I've got something for you, Fifi. But let me finish this thought real quick. Western Christianity struggles because there isn't a New Testament scripture that deals with the mental emotional abuse of recovery aspect of it. And the reason is, I believe, is because, to begin with, modern Western Christianity has failed to teach people what they already knew back then, which is to not associate with abusive people, period, end. Modern Western non-denominational Christianity just blew that out of the water. They forgot about that. And in the name of capitalism and growing big churches, they became an open arms church to everybody, which had to make them a love everybody, come as you are type church. And what happens is that you're no longer able to help people get out of abuse. You're not able to help people get out of relationships where they're being cussed at and called names, because the church's standpoint is, we'll take them as they are, come as they are, we'll work with them. What they're really saying is we'll take the numbers. We'll take the amount of people. Um, and that's a sorry thing. I think that in the ancient literature in the Old Testament of the Bible, the reason they didn't have as much mental and emotional, at least documented mental and emotional abuse, is because they already knew evil is all around and they stayed away from it. They stayed away from it. They didn't get involved intimately with it, you know. So Fifi, tonight's video is for you, by the way. And I am uploading it. It's uploading. It's uploading now. It should be ready by 10:30 p.m. Fifi. And tonight's video is on anger and what to do with your anger. So tonight's video is about understanding your anger, the good purpose that your anger has. I think, Fifi, it's going to be a great video for you. Anger is it's a gift. It really is. But we just don't understand the purpose of anger in our life, so we don't know what to do with this gift. And so we're going to be talking tonight, in tonight's video that I'm uploading, going to be talking about dealing with your anger, what it's really for, the mistakes and the lies that people have gotten you to believe about your anger, as far as how to deal with it, why we stay stuck in toxic relationships and all this and that. But I am going to be talking about anger. So I'm excited for you, Fifi. I hope that this video tonight that's going to be uploaded on the Organic Royal We channel, I hope it really speaks to you and I hope it helps you out. Anger is a gift. It is a gift. The truth is, and I make this point in this video tonight, that anger is, anger, frustration, these things are what drive us forward in life. It's what drives everything in life, really. Things don't get done unless there's an element of frustration to doing it. No matter how small the frustration is, it's there. And frustration is a form of anger. And depending on the intensity of the frustration, or what we refer to as anger, it just means that we're trying that hard to get something accomplished. Yeah. So anger is good. And I'll be talking about that on the Royal We upload tonight. Man, I just yawned. I'm sorry. Bleh. I hope that everybody here is following me on Instagram at Join the Royal We. I'm going to be doing a lot of uploads coming up in the next couple weeks of getting prepared to rappel down the 19 stories, which, by the way, thank you to all of you who are supporting me on that. That is, again, another way of dealing with anger. You redirect your anger to accomplish something. Face of fear for me, rappelling down 19 stories is, I have a fear of heights, and man, it's right around the corner. I'm going to be rappelling pretty soon. Wow, 19 stories I'm going to be rappelling. That's crazy. But it's right it's right around the corner. And so thank you so much for those of you who supported me for that journey. On my Instagram, I'm going to be sharing just kind of the steps I'm taking now, because I think that breaking the fear is about the small steps. It's not just about going and doing it willy-nilly. So I'm doing some things. I'm doing some, zip lining and things like that, just getting used to being in a harness and on a rope. And I'm having a pretty good time with it. I uploaded a video to my Instagram just last week. If you haven't seen it yet, you can find it there. I went and I did some tree climbing and zip lining, just to get used to being up high again. Even though it's not 19 stories high, it was a few stories high, probably 3. And zip lining was fun. It was fun. So check that out on Instagram at Join the Royal We. That video is there. and I'll be posting more. I think this weekend I'm going to go and I'm either going to do a bigger ziplining course, which is higher and longer, just to get more time in the air, being on a rope up above the ground, and or I may go to a rock climbing gym, and I heard there's some pretty tall ones out here in St. Louis, and I might climb up that. Which again, you're on a rope and a harness, and they do something called valet, where somebody helps you down the rope. So again, I'm just trying to get used to the feel of being in a harness. And Shelly, I know you would. I know you would, Shelly. And by the way, anybody wants to come to St. Louis and the Four Seasons Hotel and check it out when we're rappelling, come on down. I don't know. I don't know if it's a closed off event or not. Somebody asked that. Can we come? Can we come and see us? I don't know. I don't know if it's just for the people who are registered to do it and or not. I'm not sure. But excuse me again. You can tell I was up late working on that video. I can tell you this. You all are going to be going with me no matter what, because you better believe I'm going to be strapped from head to toe with GoPro cameras, and I'm going to be it's the 17th, Tanya. The 17th is the date that I'm going to be rappelling. April 17th. It's coming up a few weeks. Saturday the 17th. And I'm going to be strapped head to toe with GoPros and cameras, and I'm going to document the entire thing. So I'm going to try my best without looking down while I'm rappelling down to get all of the angles with the cameras. The video I'm going to put out, which will most likely just go to Instagram. So it's important that you guys are able to follow me on Instagram. The reason I want to, how many of you remember when looking down from the stratosphere was terrifying. How many of you remember when I used to do videos when I was outside and I would make all these edited videos and stuff? I stopped doing that because it didn't seem to be working well with the Royal We, with platform. And I understand why. I think when people watch Royal We videos, they want a message. I think that part of me didn't really believe in the gift that God had gifted me with, if you know what I mean. Didn't have faith in it, didn't trust it, which is just to talk about healing from narcissistic abuse. And check this out. I still struggle with it. Every time I turn on the camera and I get ready to talk, I'm like, is anybody going to get this? Right? And it blows my mind when people do, because I'm approaching it in such a different way. I'm not talking about the diagnosis of narcissistic people and cluster Bs and the personality disorders. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about transformational changes within us, and it's very difficult. But I still struggle with believing that that's my gift and just opening my mouth and letting it happen. And what I started doing a while back was I was just producing videos where I would just go out and I would take all kinds of shots of the arch and downtown and trains and planes and cars, and I would do this creative stuff with lighting and cut all the video up, and I enjoyed it. I really did. I loved doing that. But at the same time, one of the reasons I loved it so much is because it's a distraction for me. It takes me away from doing what I'm not sure I can do, which is just talk about healing from narcissistic abuse. In other words, when God gives you a plan and a purpose in your life, and God says, go and do this, talk and do this and help heal people. I, in a way, was being Jonah, if you will. I think it's Jonah, and running from just talking and doing all kinds of other video stuff. And what I noticed is it had a negative effect. The subscribers, I lost subscribers. People weren't watching the videos as long, and it was painful for me because I was like, I'm putting so much effort into these videos, but it dawned on me, people don't want to be entertained. They There's other channels that are far better than me at creating entertainment stuff. People come to the Royal We because they're looking for help specifically. So I needed to get back to that. But anyways, um, what I am going to be doing is I still want to put together some creative videos. So I um, I am going to be using my Instagram account to put together some creative videos. Now, here's the good thing about that. One, the videos can be a whole lot shorter, so I can get creative and I don't have to spend a whole lot of time doing it. Um, Two, the Instagram platform I think is more for that, just behind the scenes creativity, pictures and videos. So I think it's a good place for me to post videos about, getting ready to do the rappelling down 19 stories. Uh, Even for the video that I do the rappelling, I'll probably most likely put that on Instagram and Facebook. So you'll if you're over there, check it out. Yes, Kevin, don't lose direction. There needs to be balance. Absolutely, Monique. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Right on. Well, listen, I know that I miss your walks in creative places of landscapes and stories. They ministered to me at the beginning of this journey. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that. I uh, I think, Holly, what I'm going to be doing is doing that type of stuff more on Instagram, where there's shorter videos, and I'm going to just allow the Royal We, the platform, just the organic channel, just to be the background that you see, but just the heartfelt messages coming out, because I think the people running into that's what they need. They just need the affirmations. They need to know they're not crazy. They need the healing message um, as they're recovering. Um, and then the creative stuff, I'll put that on Instagram. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine with me. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap this one up a little bit early tonight so that I can make sure that the video on anger is uploaded and it's ready to rock and roll with you by 10:30 p.m. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I am genuinely love you all. Thank you so much for being here, for being a part of Royal We Live Chat. Thank you for being a part of my healing journey as well. Thank you for being a part of Royal We Fellowship. If you're a part of Royal We Fellowship, which, by the way, if you're not a part of Royal We Fellowship, I encourage you to do that. It's every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., especially those of you who went to church, stopped going to church, and maybe you don't quite know where you belong in a church. Join us on Royal We Fellowship. I think you'll get some great things out of it, because we're starting at the beginning, the very beginning, and we are reading through the ancient literature, and we're putting our understanding of toxicity in the world into the stories. It really opens you up to a different perspective. And so Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, Royal We Fellowship. That's where that's at. You can find the links in the description box down below for that. We'll be back here next Monday night for Royal We Live Chat. And then also videos will be uploaded throughout this week. There was one last night, one tonight. Got one planned for tomorrow. And hopefully for the rest of the week, there'll be others. So get ready for anger tonight. We're going to be talking about anger. That's going to be on tonight on the Royal We at about 10:30. It should be ready to go. And with that, I will see you back here next Monday night. Tanya, thank you for your help here. And yeah. All right, everybody. Blessings. Have a good night. Bye.